Welcome to Faith 7 Business, where stories ignite faith and strategy. Every word here is crafted to inspire, transform minds, and drive action. Are you waiting for a big opportunity to change your life? A financial breakthrough? A door to success? What if that door isn't hidden in something grand, but quietly tucked away in the small, everyday decisions you make? From the way you spend each dollar, to how you handle small tasks, to the way you use your time and the trust others place in you, these are the silent tests of character. And as Jesus said in Matthew 25:21, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things." Faithfulness in the small things is the key that opens the door to greater responsibilities and lasting rewards. This lesson isn't just about changing your finances. It's about transforming the person you are becoming. And when you change, everything around you begins to change. Start today with the smallest thing. The parable of the talents, more than a financial story. The parable of the talents, Matthew 25:14-30, is far more than a moral tale about money management. It is a divine invitation from Jesus Christ, calling every soul to awaken, take responsibility, and live faithfully with what God has entrusted to them. This parable is part of his powerful teaching about the last days, a time no one can predict, but for which all must be ready. In the story, a master prepares for a journey and entrusts 3 servants with different amounts of talents, a term for money at the time, but also symbolic of all that God gives us: our gifts, our opportunities, our time, and our lives. One servant receives 5 talents, another 2, and another 1, not based on favoritism, but each according to their ability. That simple phrase reveals a profound truth. God is just. He doesn't compare us to others. He looks at our heart, our maturity, and our unique capacity. The first 2 servants took their talents and immediately put them to work. They understood that what they had was not their own, but a sacred trust. They didn't procrastinate. They didn't fear risk. They acted with wisdom and confidence. When the master returned, they were not only praised, "Well done, good and faithful servant," but given even greater responsibility and invited to enter into the joy of your master, a beautiful picture of eternal joy in God's presence. But the third servant, the one given a single talent, acted not from love but from fear. Outwardly, he did nothing wrong, but inwardly, he committed a grave error. He didn't trust the goodness or justice of his master. He believed safety was found in hiding, not in obedience. His decision to bury the talent wasn't just laziness, it was a refusal to trust and a rejection of his purpose. The consequence didn't come immediately, but when the master returned, everything was revealed. The servant was rebuked, not for having less, but for doing nothing. His talent was taken and given to the one who had the most. In God's kingdom, those who are faithful will be entrusted with more, and those who waste what they have, even the little, will lose the opportunity to grow. The eternal message: faithfulness unlocks destiny. This parable doesn't just warn, it compels us to act. Each of us has been given something. No one is overlooked. The question isn't how much we've been given, but what we do with what we've been given. In our work, our families, our finances, our time, and our relationships, every area is a talent we are called to steward. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a homemaker, a pastor, or a student, you have a calling. God doesn't expect you to produce results like someone else. He simply calls you to be faithful with what He's placed in your hands. To bury your talent is to bury your purpose. To use it faithfully is to live fully and enter into a joy that nothing in this world can steal. Well done, good and faithful servant. Come and share your master's happiness. Application in personal financial stewardship. With the clear and passionate tone of an American adult speaker, principle, whoever is faithful in small things will be entrusted with greater things, offers powerful, practical wisdom for personal financial management, especially in today's consumer-driven culture where pressure to spend and accumulate debt is intense. 1. Start with small steps. To live by this principle, begin by mastering the basics of financial responsibility. Budgeting. Track your monthly income and expenses to ensure every dollar is spent with intention. A helpful starting model is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for necessities, 30% for discretionary spending, 20% for savings or debt repayment. Ramsey Solutions. Saving little by little. Set aside a small portion, like 10% of your income, for emergencies or future investments. According to Bible League International, consistent saving builds a financial cushion for life's unexpected challenges. Avoiding unnecessary debt. Minimize credit card usage for non-essential expenses to avoid becoming trapped in a cycle of debt. As Psalm 22:7 reminds us, the borrower is slave to the lender. By being faithful in these seemingly small habits, you build a strong foundation for managing larger financial opportunities in the future. 2. Faithful in the little, the journey of discipline and growth. Financial faithfulness isn't built in dramatic moments, but in the quiet, repeated habits of daily life, especially when no one is watching. Imagine someone who consistently saves the equivalent of $40 each month. It's not a huge amount, but it's enough to test their patience and discipline. As this person learns to manage that small sum, avoiding impulse spending and resisting unnecessary debt, they are training both their heart and mind to handle greater opportunities in the future. Investing, building a business, or acquiring long-term assets. Proverbs 13:11. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. According to Focus on the Family, financial faithfulness isn't just about saving or investing. It's about living according to your moral values, paying taxes honestly, being transparent with your assets, and consistently making ethical financial decisions. Because money doesn't just measure ability, it reveals character. 3. Growing financial skills, preparing for greater stewardship. Just like the servant in Matthew 25 who doubled what he was given, each of us must grow in our ability to manage money as an act of faithfulness. Blessing doesn't come from waiting passively. It flows from intentional preparation. 1. Understanding investment. Learning about investment options like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds helps individuals grow their resources wisely. This isn't about greed, it's about stewardship, which God affirms in the parable of the talents. Matthew 25:23. You have been faithful with a few things, I will put you in charge of many. 2. Managing risk. A wise person thinks not only of profits, but also of protecting what they have. Diversifying investment portfolios, purchasing insurance, and building an emergency fund are concrete ways to express faithfulness in uncertain times. 3. Long-term planning. A person with vision doesn't just live for today, they build financial plans for retirement, education, or purchasing a home. It's where faith meets action, knowing that today's choices shape tomorrow's outcomes. 4. Giving generously. Faithfulness is not just holding, but releasing. True faithfulness is not about clinging tightly, but knowing when to let go. Generosity is the pinnacle of stewardship. It's the recognition that everything we have is temporary and belongs to God. Tithing 10% to your church or giving to humanitarian causes is not a burden, it's a privilege. It's the act of placing God at the center of your finances,
trusting Him, not money, as your ultimate provider. Proverbs 11:25. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. According to Rush University, generosity doesn't just benefit communities, it also improves mental health by reducing stress, increasing joy, and bringing a deep sense of purpose. In other words, giving is also receiving, on a soul level.
Conclusion: faithfulness is a daily walk. Personal financial management isn't just a technical skill, it's an expression of spiritual maturity. A faithful person understands every dollar has a purpose. Every financial decision is a test. Every small action today lays the foundation for greater trust tomorrow. You don't need to wait until you have more to start being faithful. You simply need to start with what's in your hand, right now. If you're faithful with the little, you've already started your journey to the greater. A wise steward. Financial basics, the first step toward corporate faithfulness. Many businesses don't fail due to lack of ideas. They fail because of poor financial discipline. Mastering the basics of financial management is the bedrock for any company to survive, grow, and attract outside investment. Monitoring cash flow, the lifeline of business. Without a stable cash flow, even the best strategies fall apart. No matter how high the revenue, if cash flow isn't positive, the business is headed toward a crisis. On paper, it's profitable, but in reality, it's unstable. Check. Track weekly cash inflows and outflows carefully. Check. Establish a liquidity reserve to meet short-term obligations. PIN. According to NetSuite, effective cash flow management is a vital survival skill, especially in times of economic uncertainty. Controlling expenses, faithful with every dollar spent. Every expense must reflect added value, not just spending because there's money in the bank. Check. Establish an expense approval system. Check. Evaluate the return on each investment, ROI. Check. Eliminate costs that don't add value. A faithful business doesn't spend recklessly. It spends with purpose, not to impress, but to optimize. Financial transparency, the foundation of trust. Financial transparency isn't just about complying with the law. It's a reflection of integrity. A transparent company can easily gain access to investments, bank credit, and strategic partnerships. Check. Maintain accounting records in accordance with accepted standards. Check. Publish financial reports regularly. Check. Always be open to audits and evaluations. Transparency speaks louder than words. It builds long-term credibility, a value that money can't buy. 2. Financial faithfulness, the foundation for sustainable growth. No organization can thrive without financial faithfulness. When a company is faithful in the small things, like paying salaries on time, filing taxes honestly, and reporting data transparently, it earns the trust to take on greater responsibilities, raising capital, going public, and expanding globally. Reading Matthew 25:21. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many. In practice, investors and strategic partners don't just look at profit margins. They watch how a business conducts itself when resources are limited. If you're faithful and transparent when you're small, you'll be worthy of more when you grow. 2. Faithful in the little, planting seeds for greater harvest. In the world of startups, it's common to begin with a modest budget for a pilot project. But how a business handles that small fund speaks volumes of the character of its leadership. A startup doesn't need millions to build trust. Managing a small marketing or product trial budget with honesty, transparency, and effectiveness is often enough to win investor confidence, customer loyalty, and team alignment. PIN.
According to Lockshield Partners, financial faithfulness isn't just a skill, it's a form of business ethics. It's about honest reporting, avoiding accounting manipulation, and refusing to dress up the numbers. Faithfulness in the small things leads to sustainable growth, from a small capital base to major contracts, from internal trust to public reputation. 3. Developing people, from number managers to strategic leaders. Faithfulness isn't just a principle for the organization, it's a compass for developing people. When an employee is entrusted with managing small payments, petty cash, or expense reports, and handles them with integrity, that's a test of their readiness to take on greater leadership.
According to Harvard Business Review, sustainable businesses know how to identify and promote the faithful, not just the charismatic. For example, an accountant who manages regular expenses transparently may grow into a financial controller. A team member who oversees media budgets with discipline and timeliness may be entrusted with project operations. Faithfulness is the measure of trust. If you can't be trusted with little, how will you be trusted with much? 4. Long-term investment. Faithfulness to the future, not just the present. One of the highest expressions of faithfulness in financial management is choosing to invest in what is right, even when the return is not immediate. Instead of pouring money into quick profit strategies with ethical risks, a company can invest in sustainable technology to reduce emissions and energy use. Develop long-term training programs for staff. Support local communities to create lasting social impact. Take Patagonia, for example, a global outdoor clothing company. From early on, they invested in environmental restoration and sustainability initiatives. It didn't increase profit overnight, but it strengthened their brand reputation and built deep customer loyalty. Ethical, visionary investment is faithfulness to the future, and businesses that practice it not only grow in revenue, they expand in influence. Conclusion: faithfulness, an irreplaceable identity in business finance. Financial management in business can't be based only on efficiency. It must be grounded in truth. It can't aim only for profit. It must also pursue integrity. A business that's faithful with small budgets today will be trusted with major funding tomorrow. An employee who's faithful in small tasks will become a trustworthy leader in greater responsibilities. A small investment in what's right can reshape the future of an entire organization. Luke 16:10. Whoever is faithful with little will also be faithful with much. Under the light of this biblical principle, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with little. I will put you in charge of much. Matthew 25:21. We see that even the smallest steps, done with faithfulness and perseverance, open great doors for both individuals and businesses. We see this powerfully in the journey of Dave Ramsey, a renowned American financial advisor. He didn't start with a big company or a giant investment fund. He simply began by applying biblical financial principles to help people get out of debt. Through clear vision and consistent faithfulness, budgeting, snowball debt repayment, and living without borrowing, he built Ramsey Solutions, a company that has reshaped the way millions think about money. His Financial Peace University doesn't just teach money skills. It instills a lifestyle of integrity, discipline, and freedom, all rooted in a simple truth: faithfulness in the little things. We also see this in the story of Patagonia, a globally respected outdoor clothing brand. From the beginning, Patagonia didn't chase maximum profits at all costs. They chose to invest in lasting values, recycled materials, supply chain transparency, and environmental grants. They didn't launch massive programs overnight. They started small and followed through with consistency. Their long-term faithfulness to sustainability built a brand not only profitable, but deeply respected by customers and employees alike. Then there's Chick-fil-A,
a U.S. fast food chain known not just for its food, but for its people. Their employee development strategy is built on trust and internal promotion. Team members who demonstrate faithfulness in small responsibilities, managing the register, preparing orders, caring for customers, are given opportunities to grow into leadership roles. They don't just hire externally, they develop from within, with faithfulness as the top criterion. This has led to exceptional employee retention and brand loyalty, making Chick-fil-A one of the most trusted names in the food industry.
From these three examples, Dave Ramsey, Patagonia, and Chick-fil-A, we draw a profound lesson. Faithfulness in small things builds the credibility, culture, and capacity for greater responsibility. Whether it's a personal budget decision, a long-term sustainability pledge, or a value-based hiring policy, these are all expressions of one universal principle. If you can be trusted with little, you are worthy to be entrusted with more. So whether you're an individual or a business, no matter where you are in your journey, you can begin today. You don't need to wait until you're bigger, richer, or better resourced. Just be faithful with what you already have, what you're already doing, and what's already in your hands. That's where the road to lasting growth and true blessing begins. The principle, whoever is faithful with little will be entrusted with much, Matthew 25:21, is a timeless truth. It serves as a powerful compass for personal and corporate financial stewardship. More than a moral suggestion, it's a spiritual law that governs the path to sustainable success. From how we handle our very first dollar to how we build long-term influence and trust. For businesses, this principle underpins sustainable leadership. A company that's faithful in tracking cash flow, managing expenses, and maintaining financial transparency builds internal trust and external credibility. Promoting staff based on integrity, not just short-term results, creates a culture of lasting growth. And when businesses choose long-term investments in meaningful causes like people development or environmental care, the result isn't just profit, it's legacy. But more importantly, faithfulness doesn't just produce material gain, it shapes the heart. It teaches us to act with integrity when no one is watching, to stay the course even without instant results, and to serve others with humility. These are not only the traits of great leaders, they are the marks of spiritual maturity. Jesus once said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many. Come and share your master's happiness." Matthew 25:21. This is not just a reward in a parable, it's an invitation for you today. Start with the small things, whether it's a savings account, a task at work, or a relationship you're entrusted with. Manage it faithfully because that is how you step into greater purpose, greater responsibility, and greater joy. After all, money isn't just about numbers. It's a part of your calling to live wisely, live fully, and live for the purpose God placed on your life. Start today and let faithfulness be the key that opens the greater doors. Thank you for walking alongside Faith 7 Business. Your follow is more than a number. It's a mark of faith, a hunger for transformation, and a shared journey toward lasting value. Keep journeying with us, where storytelling, faith, and strategy converge to spark inspiration and action. Pin, don't miss the upcoming lessons, packed with real-world strategies, transformational insights, and powerful leadership principles crafted for purpose-driven entrepreneurs like you. Faith 7 Business, writing to lead, living to make an impact.